back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back as we are halfway through the broadcast, halfway through the OSC Elite Rising Star 17.5 day number 4, the final day of the tournament. We are here to crown our champion. We just wrapped up with our semifinals, and both Shameless and Young Yakov did advance on. They were the two favorites for the entire tournament, to be fair. We expected them to face off, but I did believe there were certain key players that could stop them, like Lemon, like Jumy. But in the end, both are they're both destined to face off in those finals, and we'll get there. We'll get to the finals. First up, though, we have the bronze match. We have the third place match. Jumy and MiniZerg, they may have lost their series, but there's still one more opportunity for them to gain a better placing, and of course gain more prize money as well. Let's go. Let us go. It is going to be a money match here between Jumy and MiniZerg. Another PvZ. Non-stop PvZs tonight. True. Non-stop PvZs. Let's go. Let's go. Game 1 is going to be on 10,000 feet. Coming into this, we're going to see a very different dynamic here. Again, Jumy can be very aggressive, can be very intense, and loving his in-game name. It's spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of 10,000 feet. We have the German Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy, aka Gigabunk. Lovely. God damn it, Jumy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Ukrainian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Hokago T-Team. It is MiniZergUA. Solid, yes. He is here to bunk. No. If you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim this series. Best of luck in the chat. Bienvenidos. Big Mac. Bienvenidos. As again, we're settling into a best of 5 PvZ matchup here in the bronze match. Maybe you could argue a little bit less pressure on our players as they're not fighting for the grand finals, but you know, still a lot is on the line. And let's go. Let us go. So far, opening up Hatch Gas Pool, likewise standard opener out of Jumy. Now, what I expect out of Jumy, though, is more chaos. I mean, hey, last game we saw him try to catch Yakov off guard with this crazy double robo fast Colossus timing. At least attempted to. We saw that Yakov was able to get ready just in time with those Vipers. We'll see what Jumy has in store for MiniZerg here as we load into 10,000 feet. This is one of the smallest maps in the map pool, smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. The last time we saw MiniZerg on this map, he was up against Shameless, and MiniZerg, he went for a 3-base all-in. Remember, he was forced the forward expansion, he rushed across the map, and that was the one game that MiniZerg did win against Shameless, was on this map, was with the all-in. True. So we'll see if he does so again. If you remember, MiniZerg, he broke the center expansion, he broke the third base, he contained Shameless on 2 bases. Shameless, he eventually stabilized and tried to retake his third and retake his fourth, but MiniZerg had a massive lead from that early damage, and things just snowballed out of control from there. He was able to just maintain that lead and claim that game. Why Gigabunk? Just do not try to question the mind that is Jumy. Hold on, I'll fix it up. I'll fix it up. Hold on. Can I? Bam. Bam. No, not quite. Not quite. There we go. That's what he does on the ladder. He gigabunks all over the ladder. No. Hello, MiniZerg. As this is Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener pulls out a gas, but he is rushing into the third or across the map with a proxy hatchery. Now, what is the plan here? The plan is to throw down the hatchery and mine through these minerals. Mine through these mineral patches and bust into the natural base. Jumy, he does check the wall, and he is in position here. Sees nothing yet. Yeah, last is not quite aware. Behind this, we have MiniZerg amassing up more Zerglings, and MiniZerg, he's missing drones. He needs drones here to mine through that patch to break into the natural. MiniZerg, he's completely all in. He's cutting workers at 20. So cutting workers at 20. He's link flooding across the map. Queens, they're waddling across as well. Let's go. They're walking across. The queens are coming. Jumy, he does spot the all in. He spots the hatchery. He does see the hatchery. He knows, Bappy. He knows. So far, fully walling off. Shield batteries on the way. The Stalker is trapped. Nice pickup. Takes down the Stalker. Stalker goes down. That's a kill, not a cancel. That's a kill on the gateway. And the drones have arrived. The problem is that Jumy knows. Like, Jumy, he saw this. Jumy's aware. Adept is in position. And how does Jumy stop this? Just kill all the drones. And he does. Oh god. No! He gets 1, 2, 3, 4 drones. Does morph in the Spore Crawler, but alas, the wall here is solid so far. Again, the whole purpose of this is to break through that wall. And there's no drones. Yeah, there's no drones. A massive delay here on the all-in. MiniZerg, he can't get in, Bap. He can't get in. Oh! Okay, we got 1 drone. We got 1 drone. It's gonna get focused down. Oof. 0 drones. Again, the win condition for Jumy is to focus down those drones. To focus them down before they mine through the wall. And these things, they can do nothing. Yeah, another drone has arrived. We got 2 more coming in, 3 in total. Surrounding the gateway. Okay. Jumy's distracted. Jumy's distracted, and the drones are mining through. He's almost in. Casito. Yeah, he breaks through. He's gonna break through. Queens are welding forward. Spine crawlers on the way. The wall is broken. Lings are trying to flood in, but there's a second wall. Just in time, there's a secondary wall here for Jumy. He's got a second wall up and running. We got another wall here on the high ground. We got. Shield battery goes down, but Lings, they still cannot get in. Oh, I switch too soon. We have a couple of Lings trickling in on the left hand side. The wall is broken. We come in for this round, but the Oracles are in position. Yeah, the Oracles are just mow through all those Zerglings. The boys are being pulled. Does pull the boys. Queens, they do have transfuse. MiniZerg, can he do it? Can he? He's breaking through. He's trying at least. Oh no. Yeah, more probes are being pulled. They try to get on top of the Queens. Down to 3 Adepts. Down to 3 Stalkers. Jumy holds. Yeah, Jumy, he does hold on. He has a standing army. Oh. Does lock in the Lings. It's still close though. We have another Spine Crawler coming in. Okay. Getting a second Spine Crawler. 3rd Spine Crawler's on the way. Queens are getting choked up. And MiniZerg keeps gaining ground, but at the same time we have an Immortal coming out. The Immortal will shut this down. Jumy, he just needs the Immortal. Oh, Force Field misplaced. Okay, misplaced Force Field. Jumy did slip up. Lings are slipping into the main. Oh, diving on the main army. Does go for the dive. Doesn't get the surround. Lings, they go for the middle line. Adept is in position. Yeah, nice warp in out of Jumy. Nice warp in. Queens are running out of transfuse. Yeah, there's no transfuse. Yeah, no transfuse available. Boys are being pulled. We need more time for a transfuse. The spines. Yeah, the spines are going down to the Immortal. Getting 1, 2. Plus transfuse towards the end. Okay. Saves the Spine Crawler. So I'll save the spine. Again, we're down to 2 Spine Crawlers and 3 Queens. Down to 2 Queens. Again, there's no transfuse. He needs more time. Lings that down with the Immortal. If the Immortal dies, I mean, he can still do this. The Immortal. Can he get it? No. The Immortal pulls away. 1 Queen left. Yeah, the Immortal barely survives. Down to 1 Queen. Now there's a second Immortal though. Yeah, now we have a second Immortal. You saw how much 1 was doing. Now we're up to 2. Jumy still has a greater economy. He can still pull the boys if need be. Nice force fields. Choking up those things. Zoning back the Queen. Picks up a couple of workers. You see Jumy getting a better angle, and he gets a spine. Oh, almost. That's it. But again, his army's just too great at this point. There's just too much Protoss. And it got close. Like MiniZerg, he broke into the natural base. He got his spines up and running. It was close, but he gets cleaned up. And with that, Jumy, he'll take a lead in the series. GG. Jumy takes game number 1. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. Jumy, he does take a lead. Again, a very close, very intense game here, very intense defense. Again, Jumy, he was able to recognize the all-in and get ready at the wall, set up his secondary wall as well to make sure that the Lings had a very hard time actually advancing. And of course, the win condition there was the Robo. Finishing up the Robo, pumping out those Immortals. That first Immortal did so much damage, and once the second Immortal arrived, that was game. That was game then and there. We saw that MiniZerg, he just ran out of steam, ran out of reinforcements, ran out of army, ran out of transfuse. GG. GG, well played. Oh, hi. And with that, Jumy takes the lead, and now we're going to be jumping into game number 2. Let's go. We go from one of the smaller maps into one of the larger maps. Going to be loading into Winter Madness. And spawning in the top left-hand corner here of Winter Madness, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the German Protoss. Oh, as we have to fix up his name. Cat. There we go. We have the German Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone, leading the series 1-0. It is Jumy. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Ukrainian Zerg player, we have the red Zerg representing Hokago T Team. It is MiniZergUA. Let's go. But again, Jumy, he was able to heavily slow down the all-in by killing the drones. I mean, again, imagine that last game, but the wall being broken, what, 30 seconds earlier. Maybe that would have been enough. Maybe. Here we go. Oh yes, he giga bonked. True, he Este Jumy. See, this is hard to watch. I mean, again, it was close. Like, MiniZerg, he did gain ground. He did break into the natural. It's just unfortunate that he just wasn't quite... Again, time was of the essence, right? Time was of the essence. Didn't quite get into the mineral lines, or didn't quite break the natural the way they had hoped for. Things got chaotic. Very chaotic, very messy. Very messy. But GG. As for now, we're settling into a much more standard game. We do have a hatch gas pool, standard opener so far. This time there's no drone across the map, there's no proxy hatchery. Again, this map doesn't really lend to that sort of style. So we're settling into a much more standard early game at least. Stargate opener. Stargate had a Jumy. Interesting, but why not more shield batteries? I mean, batteries that have their place, and there were, what, maybe two, three shield batteries. But again, Jumy, he did need extra gateways. He did need that robo, especially as you saw the robo for the Immortals. Gateways for extra weapons to actually have the DPS output to deal with all those Zerglings. Shield batteries can be okay if you have a proper wall, but if you recall, the wall was compromised, right? The wall was compromised, so there was more surface area on the Adepts. That's why we did need more units, more army, more warpins to deal with the link flood that was coming in. Here we go. On top of that, batteries also lose their effectiveness once you get more burst damage up and running, specifically referring to the spine crawlers, right? There were 3 spines in the natural base, and because of their burst damage, like, the battery is less effective as well. Just because you're doing so much damage at once that you can break through the shields and break through the hull. But again, Jumy, he got there. Like, again, what was most important was getting out that Immortal. He got there, man. He got there. He got there. As from here, we have the early chamber. Okay, so early Eva chamber leading into +1 melee, leading into a Ling Hydra composition. So once again, we did see this in the first series of the broadcast against Shameless. is a much more standard setup. I say standard, this is very 2025. Again, it's something that's been falling out of the meta as of late. For good reason. Again, for like 2 years, it was the go-to, was the standard for Protoss players to open up Stargate into Blink, right? Stargate into Blink Stalkers. Oh, hello. Okay, no, that makes no sense. I was like, why is there +1 range on the way? +1 melee is what we expected. But for a long time, it was just the go-to to just open up Oracle into +1 Blink Stalkers. Nowadays, we've been seeing less of that. We've been seeing more of Oracle into Charge instead. Not saying that's what we'll see here, but it's just been more popular and more trendy as of late. Earlier Robo. You have my attention. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 5-minute lair. So again, building up into the lair, building up into Hydras. Eyes are on Jumy. What's it going to be? Blink or Charge? Ooh, as I've said, you get into the middle line. 1, 2, 3 drones going down. Jumy's banking up a lot of resources, and there it is. +1 and Blink is on the way. Okay, Blink is on the way. These upgrades are a little bit late. Jumy was distracted by his own harass. So a little bit inefficient when it comes to his overall build, but he's getting there. Now, what I will say, against +1 and Blink, I do like the idea of going Ling Hydra. Jumy just scattered the Evo Chamber. You don't have an Evo Chamber this early on unless you do plan on going into +1 melee. So Jumy knows. Jumy knows, he's aware. And now we see why we had the early Robo. The early Robo for what? For the Bay. We're going into Colossus. Okay. This is looking very similar to the game that, yep, double Robo, double Colossus production. This is the same build or a similar build. I say similar because, again, the build itself was looking a little bit shaky and a little bit messy because of the harass. But this is the same overall idea that we saw against Young Yakov on this very map. And what did this lead into? This led into a +1 timing with 3 Colossus. 3 Colossus and a War Prison. And we'll see if Jumy can get there again. If you recall, how did young Yakov survive this? Yakov, well, he had rushed into a fast hive into fast Vipers, and he barely held on with his Vipers as they were gathering energy. Meanwhile, the Overseer comes in. The Overseer scouts both Robos. Big scout, he knows. He's aware. Bam, instantly infestation bits. Again, the goal here should be, once again, Hive and Vipers. Need those Vipers. And a handful of safety lurkers as well. Lings, they come in for the surround. Not very nice surround here. Oh my god. Yeah, Blink is now done. But a massive loss for Jumy. Jumy losing everything. Every single stalker goes down. Oh my god, expensive losses. And Jumy, he does take a massive loss here. Does take a big hit. Honestly, if MiniZerg wanted to, he could probably just all in. I think he could break the third. For now, though, he's droning. I mean, he's still, again, locked in. Droning. Hive is on the way. Still thinking about those Colossus. He's locked in, back. But again, there's a very rough start for Jumy. Bailings, they roll in. No major damage, but they deny mining. 7 probes go down. And sure, we're building up the Colossus, but now it's going to be a later push, a later timing. This time you can see 4 Colossus on the way. No War Prism. It tells us that Jumy's going to stay defensive. Which means MiniZerg is free to get his Vipers. Yeah, Jumy is turtling. There's no opportunity for Jumy to push out, so Jumy is turtling up. Academium at 4th base is on the way. Templar Archives on the way for Storm. We have +1 flyer to +1 air attack. Jumy's getting ready for Sky Toss. So again, it looks like the plan for Jumy, because he lost so many Stalkers, he cannot move out. Like, he missed his window. He missed his timing. He cannot be aggressive. He cannot push out, so he's stuck at home turtling, defending until he gets into Sky Toss. There's a Fleet Beacon. Going to be building up into Tempest, into Carrier. Now, the problem here is that MiniZerg should be the first to max out. He's on 85 drones. He already has his Hive. Does he have a Lurker Den? No Lurker Den. That's a little bit concerning. So MiniZerg is going pure Lingbane Hydra Viper. No lurkers. There's no backbone to the army. This tells me that he's heavily reliant on those Vipers and the abductions, even more so than usual. Late Lurker Den. Yeah, late Lurker Den here. Ideally, you want the Lurker Den finishing as the hive finishes so you can start the upgrades immediately. So the transition into the mid game is a little bit shaky here. And MiniZerg has to make use of this army, is the issue. And I feel like typically we'd be able to push in here and now with like 5 or 6 lurkers and start to apply pressure. The longer this game goes on, the better it is for Jumy, as Tempest production has begun. The pressure's on MiniZerg to make sure that he stops Jumy ahead of time, so he's able to slow him down. Now, I'm not saying that MiniZerg has to kill the army and kill Jumy, but even getting into the 4th base, or getting into the 3rd, or getting into the natural, like pulling off a Ling run by a Ling counterattack, killing an expansion. But now we're waiting until the lurkers are ready, and again, these lurkers are late. Got 6 lurkers on the way. Nidus Worm, okay. Going for the Nidus. And you can see that Jumy's getting there. Mothership is in production. 2nd Stargate. Jumy scans. Reveals, I should say. Lands Revelation. Spots the army. Jumy's catching up. And again, now would be the time to be active and to threaten abductions, to pick away at some of these units. Again, MiniZerg, he has 2,000 minerals in the bank. He can afford to poke in, trade, and once he loses Lings, back off and just keep remaking. I'm a little bit concerned. The concern is there. Oof. And he gets caught out, losing Hydras, losing a lurker as well. Jumy now has the comparable army. Oh, going for the Nidus, but there was a Warpin available, and the Mothership as well. Jumy defends. Jumy defends, he shuts down these Zerglings. Nidus Storm doesn't finish. Jumy, he races back home. And the main army pushing on the left-hand side at the same time, Nidus Storm into the natural, and Jumy doesn't react in time. Oh, nice blink. Gets a Viper. Oh, feedbacks the other 2 Vipers, no abductions. Yeah, that's dangerous. No abductions left, so the Nidus Storm will finish. Lurkers, they bust into the natural. Nice Nidus here by MiniZerg. But this main army is exposed. Oof. Lurkers, they pop off. 16 probes going down. Yeah, Jumy caught with his pants down. Nice splits here by MiniZerg. Oh my god. Oh god. Jumy, he kind of pushed into this, not into the concave of lurkers. And MiniZerg, he does find some damage here. He finds damage, he gets a mineral line, he will be cleaned up. And now he just has to escape. Pulls out. And this was nice damage. The one concerning thing though was the main army. The main army of Jumy is still more or less untouched. The main army is still terrifying. The other thing that's concerning me, did we okay, we did rebuild. There's still 2 Vipers. Jumy's pushing forward. Vipers are exposed. But no, the Vipers! Get out of here! Oh my god, 1 Viper goes down. There's 1 Viper left. And without Vipers, it's so much more difficult to engage into this army. We gotta look after our Vipers. Might be Ling Rumba gets caught out. Nidus in between the bases. Okay. Jumy, he does notice. Yeah, he notices. He has a warp in. Jumy defends. This is also why you don't want to max out as a Protoss. If you notice, even here, Jumy has spare supply. That means that he can defensively warp in. If he's maxed, he cannot warp in defensively. So it is something intentional. Nice into the main base. Cannon is in position. And the Nidus will go down. Nidus is full. Abducts the Oracle. There's 2 Vipers. Currently 2 Vipers. Zealous, they react to the Nidus. Yeah, they do react. Nidus is denied. Jumy has been perfecting his army. At this point, he's up to 8 Tempest. Yeah, 8 Tempest for Colossus. I will say that what Jumy is lacking here are Storms. There's no White Templar. I mean, Templar are not just Storm, but also feedbacks against Vipers. Templar are very useful. So Lurkers, they try to push in. Jumy, he has eyes on these Lurkers. He has so far losing 3 Lurkers. And the Lurkers, they cannot escape. Yeah, they cannot get away. Oof, losing every single Lurker here. That's 8 Lurkers going down. Expensive losses for MiniZerg. And do we have a Spire, by the way? Okay. Does have the Spire. Where are the Corruptors? Against this many Tempest and Colossus, Corruptors are a must. Oh no, losing 1 more Viper. Losing 1 more. Not like this. Losing 2 Vipers, no spells. Yeah, no Abduction, no Power Bomb. Both Vipers go down. GG gets called, and Jumy, he will claim game number 2. GG. Ay. GG, well played. MiniZerg, he had such a strong start. Winding back. Remember what happened? MiniZerg, he caught the Stalkers. He caught every single Stalker. Jumy was overly aggressive. He got caught out in the open. He lost his entire army, and we had 2 choices to make. Either MiniZerg all-ins from there to capitalize on the fact that he killed every single unit, or to just calm down and just get further ahead, take more bases, and tech up. The problem was that MiniZerg, he didn't do either. He did get into hive tech, but if you remember, we were criticizing MiniZerg for having a late lurker den. Because he had a late lurker den, he could not be aggressive on the map. So he actually made his lurker den after the hive was done and after the Vipers were out. Then he threw down the lurker den. So very, very late lurker den there by MiniZerg. It meant that he was, even though he had a bigger army, even though he had a better economy, he was stuck at home until his lurkers came online, which were heavily delayed. That gave a lot of time for Jumy to turtle up and to build up his Colossus and build up his Tempest and build up his Skytoss. By the time that MiniZerg perfected his army and got into his lurkers, it was a little bit too late. Jumy had recovered. He had recovered from his earlier losses and had, again, kind of built up that death bull of an army. I did appreciate that MiniZerg was going for some multi-pronged aggression. He had a really nice Nidus for him. He had a really nice Nidus at the natural, but something that MiniZerg never got into, even though he had a Spire, were Corruptors. He was up against Skytoss. He was up against 8 Tempest on a Mothership, and Colossus as well. Corruptors would have so much value there in that kind of army, but never switched. He was stuck on a Hydra Lurker, and I say Hydra Lurker because we never really saw an abduction. We saw 1 abduction on an Oracle, just the Oracle, on nothing else. So the Vipers, they never really came into play. GG, well played with that. Jumy takes a 2-0 lead, and now we're going to be loading into game number 3, potentially the final game of the series. I'm hoping that we can have a back and forth. Again, we've had some really good moments for MiniZerg, like catching out all those Stalkers or getting the Nidus Swarm into the natural. Like, there have been some really nice moments, but we've got to tighten up. We've got to bring it all together here. Let's go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the German Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone and leading the series 2-0. It is Jumy. Gigabucks. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player, we have the Ukrainian Zerg representing Hokago T-Team. It is MiniZergUA. Go. Here we go. Zerg late game build order very difficult. I mean, I will say I'm very limited with how many games I've covered from MiniZerg compared to others. Like, I think I've casted maybe like 5 series from MiniZerg. I think maybe 6, but not that many in the grand scheme of things. But from what I'm gathering here when it comes to his ZVP is that he is very Hydra heavy. We saw this against Shameless earlier in the broadcast. We saw it here against against Jumy as well. But he's very Hydra heavy to the point where he delays his lurker den. We saw it last game, but we saw it against Shameless as well, where he's maybe the sprays. Let's go. The battle of the sprays. Denied. but he's a little bit late to take up into Hive, a little bit late to take up into Lurkers, but also he's late to switch out of Hydra Lurker and switch into a more Corruptor heavy composition. That's what I can like generally say based on what we've seen with our limited series, right, with like 6 series casted. But that is hurting MiniZerg a little bit too much here. But we'll see. We'll see if he can adapt, if he can adjust. Let's go. So far, we are going to be joining, going to be saturating. So far, hatch gas full. Standard setup at a MiniZerg. And welcome to Celestial Enclave. True. Actually, I should talk about the map a little bit here. For the first time in tonight's broadcast, this is one of the most vetoed maps in the map pool. This map is heavily vetoed. The reason for this is a couple of reasons. One, this is a very large map, long rushes and spike round, but also very defendable bases here. Pocket base. We do have a pocket base here, which is typically taken as a 4th or 5th expansion. Likewise, because of the ramp coming into the natural, your 2 bases are very secure, and likewise, attacking the 3rd base can also be quite difficult as well. There isn't a wide entrance in between the bases, but this is usually where the army is parked, and here on the right-hand side, we have some choke points. So again, your initial 4 base setup is very defendable on Celestial Enclave. If there were a map where Jumy could just turtle up and build up into Skytoss, or any Protoss player, this is the map to do it on. Like, this is where you can turtle up quite freely, quite heavily, and build up into Skytoss without too much issue. Zerg players have struggled to kind of kill Protoss players early on this map. I'm not saying it's never happened. We've seen players like Solar pull off like Lin Queen Nidus all-ins, or there's been some cheeky moments we've seen from players like Solar and Shin where they can break down these rocks ahead of time without being scouted, without being noticed, and then bam, they just go in with their Ling Hydra all-in. Like, we have seen that. So technically, there are these rocks that can be broken down and you can gain access to the natural, but it is a big like gamble to try to break them down without being noticed. Big gamble. I want to say that was Solar versus MaxPax. Yeah, it was Solar. He was able to catch MaxPax with his pants down by breaking through these rocks and going for a 3-base all-in. For now, Stargate into Twilight Council. We have a delayed forge. But no battery behind this. Yeah, there's no battery, but the Oracle does respond, and the Stalker is barely going to go down. Same time, the Oracle across the map finds some more damage. 4, 5, 6, 7. Up to 7 drones going down. Do we get 8? Not quite. Does overextend? Yeah, does stay a little bit too long here, and does overextend. 7 drone kills for the Oracle. Not a bad trade here for Jumy, but you do want to keep the Oracle alive. Oh. And for the first time this series, we do have early charge. So early Zealots, early charge. This is going to be for a much more aggressive mid-game. Jumy's going to be the aggressor instead this time. So he's not turtling up. MiniZerg back at home. Layers on the way. Earlier Eva Chamber should be +1. Should be Ling Hydra. So Ling Hydra's building up for MiniZerg. Building up his Ling Hydra. Adepts, they do slip into the 3rd. Catching out more drones. Nothing major. 2 for 2. But does deny a lot of mining time here. Yeah, mining is being denied. Charge is almost done. Now, I would imagine that Jumy wants to hit with Mass Zealots and with a couple of Archons, but he may decide to slow things down and go into Storm. We'll see. Oh, Jumy, he's actually setting up for his 4th base at the triangular location. Usually we see the linear 4th base, but it looks like the goal here is to just wall up this ramp and then expand forward with your army, with your main force. So this should be the 4th. Meanwhile, Infestation Bit's on the way from MiniZerg. Okay, he's thinking about his hive. Double expanding. Getting his 4th. And now his 5th expansion. MiniZerg is running up. And Jumy is going into +1 air attack. +1 air attack. It is going to be Sky Toss. It is going to be turtling up. More defensive play out of Jumy. I'm a little bit perplexed as to why we rushed into charge the way that we did. Blink would have been a better option, I feel, given this position. But regardless, Jumy's building up, taking up, and is taking a more defensive stance. Even setting up a wall behind his 4th base as well. Okay. So again, a very methodical setup here from Jumy. The Oracle does scout the infestation pit and does scout the hive. So nice scouting here by Jumy. He's fully aware that it's not going to be mutas. There is no Spire. Fleet Beacon's on the way. Again, the Sky Toss is on the horizon. And we spoke about this at the start of the game. Like, hey, if you wanted to turtle up and just turtle up into Sky Toss, this is the map to do it on. Like, the natural is safe, the 3rd base is safe, the 4th base is where the main army is. So this 4-base setup from the Protoss is very secure. Now, there are ways to bypass this. Nidus Worms, right? Like, Nidus Worms are a way to try to get into the bases and try to wreak some havoc. Drop Lords as well. As we have Overlord speed on the way. We're just calming down. Yeah, Prism just tries to slip in. Oh no! Prism goes down. Nice pick off here by MiniZerg. At the same time, over the 4th base is going to fall. Jumy being a little bit adventurous. He has to be careful. Stasis is going off. Lings getting caught out. A couple Lings do make their way into the mineral line. And probes are getting picked up. Getting 1, 2, 4 probe kills. Oof. Catching up for workers. Again, building up his Tempest. Meanwhile, MiniZerg, interesting, has opted to go into Ultra Tech, not into Lurkers. Oh wait, did he get a Hydra then? No, he skipped it. Okay. My apologies, I did miss that. I just made the assumption it was going into Hydra, but no, it is going to be Ling Ultra out of MiniZerg. Now, Ling Ultra can do well collapsing on top of High Templar, on top of Archons, but fun fact, nothing here shoots up. And there's no Spire. There should be a Spire with this. There's no Spire. There's no anti-air. Lings, they slip into the 4th base. They do burrow. 8 probe kills. Nice damage. Nice damage out of MiniZerg. And again, this kind of composition that MiniZerg is building up is designed to ignore the Sky Toss, to overwhelm the ground army, and then to break the expansion. Zealots to distract. What does Jumy need? A second Robo. Second Robo and massive mortar production would be ideal to counter the Ultras. Has Jumy seen the Ultras, by the way? I don't think he has. I could be crazy, but I don't think he's seen the Ultras. Otherwise, we should... Oh, there we go. Immortal Production's on the way. Void Razor on the way as well. He knows. It's a late reaction, but it's a reaction. It's there. Now we have the Spire. A very late Spire here for MiniZerg. I am concerned. It's built up to 7 Ultras. Oh, it even does force a recall. Yeah, nice round. Ultras, they collapse on the main army. They break through the 5th base. We get free damage here from the Tempest. But it's time to go. Yeah, it's go time. Ultras, they rally on forward into the 4th. Ooh, there's no detection though. A cloak gets activated. Ultras are denied. And Jumy holds. Jumy, he's holding on. Again, making more Void Rays. Trying to build up his Skytoss army. But there's still a hefty amount of Ultras. Storm softens them up, but the Ultras, they didn't care. They didn't care about the Storms. They keep on pushing through. Void Rays are activated. They activate their Pulsar Beams, their Prismatic Alignments, and all these Ultras will be killed. But they will get the Mineral Line. Never mind. Jeez, the Cloak is insane. Again, 0 detection. Cloak gets activated. He saves the Mineral Line. Jumy. As MiniZerg, he's forced out. Jumy does hold. And what's scary is that these Ultras, they force out Void Rays. And what does the Void Ray counter? It counters the Ultra, it counters the Corruptor as well. MiniZerg needs Vipers. Vipers are a must. Does force a cancel. If you're curious, the Void Rays are very prone to clumping. As you can see here, they're very prone to clumping. So Parasitic Bombs are ideal against Mass Void Ray. That'd be the first step. Ideally, you get Power Bombs and Fungals, and you can get both. But alas, there are no Vipers. MiniZerg collapsing on the 4th base. Cloak gets activated. Oh, out of range of the base though. Lings, they get every single probe. Yeah, Mothership was out of position. Yeah, out of position here. 28 probes go down. Nice damage out of MiniZerg. He's doing it. Got some nice damage. Lings, they move in once again. Oh, there's detection. Yeah, not worth it here for MiniZerg this time. Yeah, but they'll slip into the natural. Oh, the move command. No, Papi. Hey, move. And here they come, 2 Vipers. 2 Vipers are on the way. Now, because of the heavy Ultra counts, there are 2 High Templar. Never mind. I was going to say that there should be less High Templar, so there's less of a chance that feedbacks are going to be a factor. I still stand by that, but there are a handful of High Templar available. There's 3 Templar. We'll see if MiniZerg can pull this off. Seeing Corruptors are hunting for any key units here. Vipers are moving in. Nice slow zone. Does it away. Zealous, they do slip into a mineral line, just catching a handful of drones, distracting MiniZerg. Jumy, he's maxing out. He's maxing out with a terrifying army. In a head-on fight, I do favor Jumy, but it does depend on the spell usage, right? If a couple of power bombs can land, and if the army stays stacked, and if power bombs, if they get max damage, then hey, MiniZerg, he can pull this off. What does MiniZerg have? He has 19 Corruptors. 19 Corruptors, 8 Ultras. Actually, I do think that MiniZerg, he can win head-on. I would say that based on the army compositions and based on the higher Corruptor count, we need more Archons. I feel like Archons are lacking here for Jumy. I think he's a little bit too heavily reliant on the Void Rays. Like he's hoping a lot that these Void Rays shut down the Corruptors, and they still can. They still can. But, we'll see. We'll see how the armies clash. If the Corruptors can break through the Void Rays, the Corruptors, they will kill everything. There's just not enough ground anti-air to support. And because the high Ultra count and because the lower Immortal counts, there's only 4 Immortals, I feel like the ground army should crumble as well. But it still comes down to the angle of attack. It comes down to, you know, are we going to be fighting with shield batteries? Are storms going to land? Is it going to be the cloak? Is it going to be detection? There are a lot of factors. As Jumy does move in, here come the power bombs. Yeah, power bomb with Void Rays, landing one, landing a second, fungal as well. Very nice, but Jumy does split. Yeah, splits up the Void Rays. There was only one power bomb that landed. We need another. Army does stack. And at the same time, we're going for the base trade. We're going for the base trade. Jumy takes down bottom right. The Ultras, they take down the center base. Oh no, the Viper. Viper goes down. And now 0 spellcasters. Oof, 0 spellcasters. There's no Infestor. There's no Viper. The base will fall, and Jumy snowballing out of control. I don't think Jumy can be dealt with anymore. Okay, we needed those spellcasters. We need those Vipers. Ultras are coming from behind. There's a cloak. We do commit in. A storm on the Ultras, not on the Corruptors. Ground army crumbles. And now it's all about the Sky Toss. And there are just not enough Corruptors. Yeah, not enough Corruptors here. The Ultras killed everything on the ground. That's all they killed. That's all they killed. The Sky Toss does overwhelm. The Sky Toss back. Now we do have 27 Corruptors on the way. True. We got 27 Corruptors. The Remax might be enough. You can see here that we're just trying to stack them up. You don't want the Corruptors to rally in. You want to be able to mass them. 10 more Corruptors in production. Ultras, they keep pushing through. And there's 24 Corruptors, down to 23, 25. Corruptors, they commit. Oh, they get one. They get one Void Ray. They get another. They force a recall. And I think MiniZerg has done it. I mean, Jumy, he's down to... I mean, there's barely an economy, right? There's barely an economy for Jumy. MiniZerg has some mining. It's not much, but it's something. So 35 drones. MiniZerg has an economy. Has a gas bank at least. And he's got 26 Corruptors. I'm still not entirely convinced here. The lack of spellcasters is concerning. Gotta respect the Void Rays. Jumy's still sharking around. MiniZerg did lose his Hive, true. Hive went down. So, fun fact, MiniZerg actually can't make any Vipers. That's why he's making the Infestation bits and eventually the Hive. MiniZerg cannot make spellcasters at the moment. Oh, he commits in. Yeah, losing 3, 4, 5 Corruptors. A lot of Corruptors go down. Does get the carrier. That was 7 Corruptors for 3 carriers. Not a bad trade for MiniZerg. Going for the Ultra counterattack. There's one Infestor buried. We got one Infestor. We got one Fungal in the chamber. As Jumy, he hasn't recalled yet. I wouldn't be opposed to just committing to the base trade, but MiniZerg, he wants to take the fight. Oh, Fungal lands. Fungal does lands. There's a second Fungal. Storm is spent, and now we commit. He can't. Yeah, he cannot commit to this. Another Storm. The Corruptors, they cannot fight this. He's on to 14. Gets a Void Ray. Gets one Void Ray. Oh, Jumy does miscontrol. Loses another Void Ray. And another. Yeah, miscontrol out of Jumy. We gotta tighten up. The Archon does start step in. Massive Archon shots on the Corruptors. And Jumy's done it. Yeah, Jumy, he does claim the fight. He cleans up everything. GG gets called, and Jumy will take the series 3-0. Whew, GG. Aye. GG, well played. Jumy does claim it. MiniZerg, alas, it was very messy. Very messy game here. He was dealing damage with his ultras. He was knocking down bases, crippling the economy, but Jumy's main army was terrifying, and again, we were heavily reliant on the spellcasters. We didn't really get many power bombs or many fungals when it mattered most. A lot of the Vipers, a lot of the Infestors were being sniped. It was brutal that during the initial push, we saw that MiniZerg lost his Hive, and he lost his Infestation Pit, so he couldn't actually make any spellcasters. He was stuck with Corruptors, and yeah, again, they're just not as efficient. They're not as they can't achieve as much, of course, as, you know, a Void Ray, Tempest Carrier, High Templar Archon army. GG, well played. A very intense, though, very close, very clutch. Congratulations to Jumy, as Jumy does claim the series 3-0, and Jumy will be taking 3rd place in the OSC Elite Rising Star 17.5. GG, well played. Is there failing to expand? In that kind of game state, expanding was not, like, the economy was low enough where, like, those, like, trying to, like, re-drone and re-expand was not really an option there. No. But GG, well played.